But how's your morning going?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm pretty active on my project that's over here. It's like a TV head helmet.
Oh,
So, yeah, so I was working on that, but there's no way to like set the camera up and like I don't do content um creation, so I don't have like a whole setup to like watch and talk. So you would have just been staring at the back of my head while I burn my fingers and glue them together at the same time.
ooh, that
Mm.
would be painful.
It is. It is. It is.
Yes, yeah. I realized since I had two, I was like, it's 11 o'clock. Let me go ahead and get lunch right quick.
Oh yeah, eating's important. It's 9 here, so
So I went to way back. I feel like burgers today.
ooh yes, I miss a burger, a good burger, not a fast food, not a fast food chain burger, a good burger.
It does help. They messed up my order because they gave me two burgers, and I was like, no, I wanted the one, so I let my dad have the other one. So
Oh, that's sweet of you.
he might be hungry later.
That's
Hmm.
sweet of you.
So, but if all the small talk is finished, I guess we can go ahead and get this thing underway. So,
Let's dive
this is
in.
yep. So this is Phil. I'm the host of the Conversation Podcast, and I have guests with me this Wednesday afternoon. It's a little dark outside, but it'll be fine. Introduce yourself. Who's Nox Falls I'm speaking to this afternoon?
Hi, it is me. I am Nox Falls. I am a international performing artist that is currently based in Seattle.
Man, Seattle's far,
Very far.
like very
Very
far from
dark.
very far from where I am in Georgia. So it's like, how many hours does it take to get to Seattle?
From from Georgia?
Yeah.
I think it was I think it told me like 4 days to drive there at one point in time, but it
No
was a quick
airplane?
cursory. Oh, like airplane wise, I would say like 4 hours,
Oh,
maybe a direct flight. I've taken this flight before, so I really should know, but I believe it's about 4 hours with the direct. And then with the
wow.
cons, I would Atlanta tends to be the hub for Delta, so any connecting flights anywhere east get routed there for me.
Oh, okay. Well,
But
shoot.
four hours is a treat, trust me. When you rather than 6 or 7 hours to get to a place that routes you like from Denver and then so a 4 hour direct flight, that's nap. That's a nap time.
Okay, I understand. I understand. All right, so let's start with a little bit of an icebreaker.
Okay.
Now, have you ever tried? Let's see. I got one question to ask. Let's see. I'm trying to think of a good one here. Have you ever tried doing Storm from the X Men?
No, actually, I have done no X characters at all. I
Mm.
know, surprising, surprising. I think it's because everyone expected me to do Storm when I very much of like, don't tell me what to do type person, even though I love Storm. I absolutely love Storm. I was like, I've never done anything from X-Men as of yet, but I have yet to choose my first character because I think if I've waited this long, it's probably not going to be the one I think.
Okay, I can respect that. So pretty much it's on the shelf right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
All the
it'll
X.
come
I
out.
have a but like I have a few X characters up there. I have like a Venomized Storm. I guess Storm is like my favorite, but I've never done anything else, any other characters from X-Men. I'm not close to it though.
Okay, okay. Well, shoot. Well, it's coming soon. We just gotta be patient. So
Hmm.
we'll see what happens. Now, as you saw, I think I sent you the questions last night, so I think you already have an idea of what to say. So, it's 25. So I divide up with five questions in each section.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with section one, origin and artistic foundation. Now, what first drew you to burlesque as an art form, and what made you realize it was something you wanted to pursue seriously?
I was recruited. I started in slam poetry and I got exposed to actual like physical burlesque when the troupe that shared our venue that our poetry club used. And so I was recruited from there because it was a dress up event, and I had made my own black velvet version of the Jessica Rabbit dress, which I did not usually dress like that. Even now, I'm very tomboyish, at times, and that's how people knew me then. And when I dressed up as that, it opened up a new area, and they were like, "Knox, have you ever tried burlesque?" And they booked me for a show, and I did a slam strip, a slam-esque. And I don't know, it was such a blur. I really didn't know that I was going to do it until I was like gently pushed on stage. And then after on stage, I was like, I could do this again. Like now that the first one's over, I could do this again. I could hear that applause one more time.
Wow. So pretty much like so you got recruited first. But you weren't forced into it because some people don't want to do
No,
stuff. Else.
yeah,
But I
no,
think
no.
you got yeah, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, it was one of those things of like they recruited you, and for me, I didn't know if I was really going to perform until Gently Pushed, but it was because of hearing my name and all of that preparation. And I have two phobias. I have stage fright, and I have fear of public speaking. So
Me
none of
too.
my so like none of my life makes sense. And when you hear your name for something new, you're like, ah, shit. Like you can't in my mind, I couldn't like back out or like, what do I do? Do I go on stage? Do I freak out? And it was just that tiny little push that propelled, but everything was for my own journey. It's been my own journey for sure.
Oh, so pretty much once you got a taste of it, you felt like I can really do this for real. Sometimes you got to
Yeah.
test the waters out first, which is most people do. Like when they do something new, and it's like I never seen or done any of this stuff before. I want to know how it
Yeah.
works beforehand.
Yeah. I even took like I think but 4 to 6 months off at one point. It's not a whole lot, but at the time for me, when you hyperfixate on something, you just keep going. And then came directly back, and I was like, well, that didn't last long. So even I took a break from it at one point in time, thinking, I don't know if this is really for me or not. And still, I come back every time.
Mm. Well, hey, it sounds like you're having a good time with it. I say I've seen some of your art, some of your work on Instagram. I said she's really talented. I don't want her to stop doing
Thank you. Thank you.
it.
Especially since I don't post as much anymore. I used to be, social media is very awkward for me right now.
Yeah. Because one of the thing, and I spoke to another person, her name was Zora. She's a spicy creator, but she
Mhm.
told me that posting on Instagram is not easy as it seems. Like you have to
No.
constantly keep coming out with ideas day by day.
Yeah, if you're into content creating, because that's the part I'm not really great at. I'm good at creating the art and displaying the art on stage, but I realized fairly quickly in the year of what we do not talk about of 2020, when everyone got a camera and some LED lights, like it was a phenomenon, and I realized very quickly that while I like the idea, I was not a great content creator. It's just not. I don't have mental time because the way that my brain works, I'm autistic and ADHD, so I really have to like the slice of the pie doesn't it's not big enough for the content creation because it would need more of the pie, and I want that piece for the stuff you're actually going to see on stage,
Yeah,
if that makes
is
sense.
yeah, and to be honest, Knox, I'm an introvert myself. I try my best. Thing is, going forward, I don't post unless I have a specific reason. So
Hmm.
that's why I don't be posting as much. Usually I be posting because hey, I just did this current episode, etc. Now that this
Yeah.
this show is blowing up. But anything else, like if I'm going to like a convention or do anything, I don't post without a reason. I gotta
I'll
have some.
share in the stories. Like if I get tagged in something, I share in the stories like crazy. I'm more open to sharing in stories and posting things because it's like a meme or something. It's like sharing memes with your whole crew rather than working on a post and thinking of like, all right, what music to put onto it. Like I just made a post yesterday finally after a long time, and all I could think of with the caption was fine. Like here you go.
That's true.
I
That's true.
I just it is what it is.
So yeah, I think going forward with us as creators, we just try to add stuff. If we have a certain context, I'm sure. Like
Mhm.
if my post doesn't have any context behind it, then I'm just gonna take it down. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna exert the energy just to put something out there and it doesn't have enough context in it.
Yeah, no, no mystery post for me. It's just going to be like a here and enjoy this photo. I just recently realized that Instagram doesn't let you do more than 5 hashtags now.
That's what I noticed too, and I was like, what? Why? Why
I
can we
was like,
do?
oh, they say get to the point, get to the point. I was like, honestly, I'm not mad. Too much choice for me is a little crazy.
So I had to randomly pick the top 5 hashtags that's going to get attention. Why did they
That's what they
remove
want
that?
because the algorithms have probably people posted more of the hashtags. Honestly, I feel like Meta does anything to open more engagement
Yeah,
and make it flow easier to get to where they want it to. So it's not our benefit. Long story short, it won't be for our benefit. But for me, I was just like, only 5. Well, all right then. What's the 5 that matter to me?
yes. So that's the tough part. We have to figure out what top hashtags are going to.
Because you've got to divide of
Yeah.
like what matters to me versus what's trending right now, what's going to help to get this photo out. And that's the part that I think that we should not have to think about. Like we should just be able to post a photo, go, hey y'all, this is me and my new X, Y, and Z, and go on about our lives and not worry about, oh, is this going to get flagged or is this what the people are looking for? It starts to water down the art when you start thinking that way, I feel. Personally for me.
Yeah. Well, we're stuck with it, so I'll make do what we can for now.
Yeah, all we
So,
can.
so number two, how did the name Nox Falls come to represent your artistic identity? Because I've seen so many creators who have like very stout names. Like the last person when I talked to her name was Azora, and she told me that her name stands for blue skies in Japanese.
Hmm.
So, what is your name? So, can you run us through that?
Yeah, it's taken for the god of night, the Roman god of night, Nox. So when I started in slam poetry, I was just as Nox, and that's how I was named. And when I went into burlesque, I was given the option of having a cute, burlesque name. I thought about it, and I didn't want to divide myself because so much of me is always in my art. I just wanted to streamline, but I did decide to give myself a last name where falls came in, and it was just because when night falls, they fall alone. Like the characters of night and within mythology always would fall in love alone. And it was just so like the tragicness of, Greek and Roman tragedies, go figure. But my poetry at the time was very dark and very like anti-love, and so it all fit that persona. And all I did was just give Knox a last name and then moved it into burlesque and carried it from there.
Okay, that's sweet because I know many people have like different names, looks like Greek mythology or some sort of things. Like it was a few examples. If I can't say this here, I'm trying to think of a good example. Let's say for example, like someone tragically passed away and they want a
Mm,
word to mean something. I've seen like another example. If you take anime stuff, for example, if you
mm-hmm,
watched a few things like My Hero, for example, there's a few words in there that stand in context or something. Let's take Tomura Shigaraki, for example.
mm-hmm,
Like his word Tomura means to mourn, so he's in mourning. So I was
mm-hmm,
like, I didn't know that before. So I'm starting to pay attention to the words. Then you got stuff like the Tartarus prison, Tartarus, where they put the criminals at the bottom for if they have a serious crime. Basically,
mm-hmm.
from the Greek gods, Tartarus lies in
Others, yeah, levels
So
of hell.
yes. So I'm starting to understand the words and the names of these creators online. I was like, okay, so now I understand Nox
Yeah,
Falls, Greek, and Night Falls and everything. Azora, she told me it stands for blue skies. That's
base word
I'm
Azor.
that got me thinking. It got me excited. I really need to start paying attention to their content creator names.
Honestly, like when people get the opportunity to name themselves, and it comes with a special side quest of meaning a thing. There's a lot that goes into a name. It's the one that you're gonna carry for a long time, so it should mean something.
Yeah, especially if you're doing all this kind of stuff, because I see so many creators who do like, mini vids, fansly only fans, burlesque stuff. They got to make sure they come up with very specific creator
Hmm.
names because it's going to stick with them for a lifetime. And it's like people want to come back and check them out.
Yeah, and also to make sure that you're not, one Katie is not another Katie kind of thing. Like it's in our world, it's Kitty. It's the Kitty of the situation. So like there's a lot of Kitty and then last names. And you know, you meet one Kitty, you've met 57 of them. And so it's about making your name very unique and something that sticks out and something that can't be easily mixed up with somebody else's.
Yeah, I tried so hard back then when I started doing Twitch. I just kept doing like Watchdog 98, but I was like, that's not me or Dark Field. I decided to stick with my original name. That's like, I guess my original name is good enough. I mean, I'm not doing
Yeah,
anything crazy. I'm just doing my own thing. And here's the other thing
exactly.
too. I had to change my username on Instagram from Philku 2000 because I was born in 2000. But
Mm.
with me getting into this business and everything, I was like, okay, so maybe I need to change my name again, like what I originally had in college. So I was like, all right, I'll embrace the name Phil Coop Productions.
It's a good
So,
name. It's your
so,
name, you know?
so, yeah, I just after so long using 2000, I realized I got to be professional, so I changed it to Productions.
I think that's a wise choice.
So, I mean, hey, it's working out for me. Everybody's liking my name, liking my username because 2000, man. But at that time, it's time to grow up.
Yeah.
Oh, be professional too, of course.
Grow in your own terms. Grow in your own terms. Never lose your whimsy, but grow in your own terms.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're doing stuff like that, make sure you have a good name that means something, because people like those contexts behind it.
They do. They like a good story.
They do very well. And guess what? People want to sit down and make sure they hear all the story. So, next up, you're known for a slow burn, intentional style. Now, how did that approach develop over time?
I'm not a dancer, so I move differently on stage. I had to learn the different ways of expressing myself. I can follow choreography and things like that, but I realized that I really hated moving fast. So I would move slower or backbeats or the third beat of a song rather than the first or the second type. I also enjoy the act of the act itself being a form of foreplay. So I take my time. I like to take my time, and over time, I've refined it in a way that moves with my body and moves with the song, and everything kind of synergizes to where it's presented in a nice package of like it is in essence my lane, and that's just how it keeps developing. I move naturally, and my natural movement tends to be slow, decisive, and a little bit nasty. A lot of bit nasty.
I've always tell people, and I learned this when I was in college too with my advisor, just tell me, it's all about whatever you're doing, it's all about quality over quantity.
Mm.
And you, with everything you described so far, I think you got that concept right because every show you go to, you want to make sure people remember
Thank you.
this for days to come, and like you like taking like making sure you have that kind of performance for everybody to enjoy, and
Yeah.
what I don't understand is why we like some people just so rushed to do things. It's because I listen when I did like because I used to have a video game channel and I deleted it because I was like, it's not getting much traction as it needs to because I was so focused on just putting videos out and not slowing down and everything.
Mm.
So, and plus, I was still young. I was 22 years old. I was still learning how it works. So I decided to just delete it and just like, because it's hard to match between two channels back to back. So I
Yeah,
decided to just put the games and these interviews on one big channel instead because I am a one person army and I don't have a team doing all this stuff. And I decided to just take things slow because, as you know, people want to make sure the quality's good. Otherwise, they're not gonna come back and see what you have going on. And and
absolutely.
and I think that's perfect for us because I was like, sure, I need all the time I can to make sure this is done right.
Hmm.
So it, but but yeah, quality over quantity always.
I agree. Having done both by accident, I do prefer the quality.
Yeah, and and to be honest, Nas, I know you have to, because then like you said, now you determine that you're doing your own TV box. I bet you have to spend like months working on that stuff.
This one, yeah, this took a year to perfect. I have two of them. So this is the original one that I get to redo now that I've made the new one that works.
Mm.
And if anyone does go look on my Instagram from this, it's a couple of rows down where I did perform the TV head in a production here for a Twin Peaks show. I was like a version of the owl because David Lynch, weird. And it was the number that almost killed me in a sense of
Mm.
I had not perfected it, but I had a deadline, and so I made it operable and didn't die. And that's like my baseline. Was it operable? Did it strip? Did you die?
Mm.
And I don't like things conquering me, and so I spent the year after that trying to perfect to how to make it work and safe for me because there's no tutorial on how to do this. There's tutorials on how to make TV heads, but specifically for what I needed it for and for what I wanted it for, there were none. So I did have to work a year to do that, which is the reason why I can go back and now have two rather than the one. It does take a long time per quote unquote perfection.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you. I mean, you guys who do like a lot of cosplaying at these conventions or dress up at all these events. You know, I've seen so many cosplayers and people tell me that it took them 2 years to get this costume
Yeah.
correct. Maybe even more than that. And I was like, I could never do a costume. I'm not an artist, but I will support whatever y'all do. But
I
this goes
think
back to,
I think you do in a way because how long did it take to get your channel to the where you wanted it?
well, let's see. Talking about this channel right now or the
Hmm.
gaming channel that I deleted.
Either. It's still a project. Our costumes and our products are our projects. Just because you don't wear yours doesn't mean that you haven't spent that much time perfecting it.
Well, for the gaming channel, I started in 2019 and I stopped at 2025.
Oh, wow.
That's when I deleted, and I had like over 80 subs, 81 subs. But then when I started really blowing up on my main channel, which is Phil Coop Productions, I
Hmm.
started in June and now I'm in February, and it's like I got 63 videos up, and it's like 42 subscribers.
Yeah, you're doing good.
And so I'm just trying to get my stuff out there, but I know this stuff takes time. I just got. I think once I get to a certain level, people are going to start really checking out the stuff. But yeah,
Mhm.
like shoot, by this time this week, because I'll be at 50 episodes,
Oh, that's a
and
milestone.
I'll be halfway to 100. So
I keep
it's
using
a
her as my cat.
yeah, it's a work in progress. But I was like, I can't believe I gotten this far. Like since I started in June, crazy. It's working.
Good. I'm glad.
So, but yeah, always, like I said, if this is going to take time, don't rush it. It's not going to be perfect overnight. It's going to take at least months or years at best.
It's hard to
So,
rush art. It really is.
if you rush art, it's not going to be perfect. People are not going to like
No.
this final display.
I mean, and even though it's not about people, it's about what the artist likes, Like if you try to rush something, I don't know about you, but like if I try to rush their project and it doesn't matter how much adulation I get about it from people who are like, well, I can't do that or this looks great to me, I know personally that it's shit that I have created. I rushed through and slapped paint on a dirty wall in a sense, and I didn't put my entire dedication into it. I just know.
Mm,
I know when my quality is lacking, and it makes me uncomfortable to receive praise about it, and so I'll destroy it.
right.
I will just,
It's
I will
all.
destroy it.
You're also right too. I'm also keeping that in mind as well. It's all about the artist's vision, not what everybody else thinks.
You go make art
Like
for you. Don't make art for consumption.
if it's not life fulfilling for me, then what am I doing this for?
Exactly. Like what for?
Exactly. So, folk, just focus on what's going to make you successful and not what other people think.
Yeah. It's a again, it's always a fine line because what's successful necessarily won't move you as an artist. The Venn diagram of it all, like to to get to like that line of where everything aligns is ideal, but it's hard to reach. If we could reach it, we would all do it.
True. Very true. Next question. What influences outside of burlesque, music, fashion, film have shaped your performances the most?
Fashion. I think fashion has shaped it the most. I know, it's hard between fashion and music. I'll be quite honest. I tend to do both hand in hand. Costumes are a big part of what I do. So the costume usually has to be unique and stand out of much. If not unique, then your music, the balance for me. I love music. I could not live without it. And it's the first thing that starts a project for me. So maybe fashion is my favorite, but music is the thing that matters the most.
Okay. Yeah, you know, I think with burlesque, you have to have like multiple stages of things that's going to make you flourish in what you do. And
Hmm.
like you say, music is one of the things because y'all got like so many songs y'all playing at these events. Want make sure the music represents the theme that you're doing because
Hmm.
but here's the thing, every time you do these performances, y'all gotta have a certain theme, and the music has to match the theme. And and I know you do fashion stash stuff too, but you're saying music is like your most thing. I think how can I say this right? I think with fashion and music, like I think once you have the music going, I don't know if you have music playing in your studio, it makes you think like, what exactly can I do for my next outfit if we have a certain theme? I guess
Oh,
like
absolutely. Yeah.
maybe in your free time when you like play a certain song or music, it goes directly into the costume that you're doing.
Yes, I do believe in that magic. When since I start with the song, and this may be jumping ahead, but I will usually make or work on that project with its intended music, sometimes playing in the background at least once. At least once. I listen to music constantly. I'm a headphones, earbuds person. Um, I again live for music, and I believe in weaving that magic into your art. So since songs is going to be so important, will listen to it. It's like a tradition to listen to the song at least once while you're working on it, so you can make sure you're putting the same colors of the music into the costume.
That is very nice. So pretty much once you start hitting the work zone, it's like I'm in the zone. Nobody bother
Yeah,
me.
I'm locked in.
There you
Goodbye.
go. Hey, usually when I get home when I be working on stuff, it's like, all right, let's get this thing fired up. It's playtime. So
I call it making the biscuits. It's like it's time to make the biscuits.
that's a good. I see so many people use that line too.
Making the biscuits.
It's nice, but yeah, any music you listen to, it goes into like music, fashion. Like music and fashion go hand in hand together. Like I've seen so many people
Hmm.
at fashion shows, and they have all kinds of costumes on and showing off. Like I don't know if you're familiar with SCAD, but
Yes.
you are.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, SCAD has a lot of that dudes does fashion shows. They actually got another one coming up this spring. I might go check it out, see what it's all about.
You should. You should too. That's the one thing I regret not living over there is SCAD. I'm like, oh, heavy breathing.
Well,
But
it's not only in Savannah, it's also in Atlanta too.
mhm.
So, but yeah, I was thinking about going to the fashion shows for a while, and it's like, shoot, I'm missing out on some very cool stuff.
I think you should absolutely go. I think you should absolutely go. Going to any type of fashion show is an experience. It really does like transform you, put you into the world. It's like being inside of a music video, but just for the cooler parts
Okay.
and then gone. It's
All right. Well,
10/10
shoot,
recommend.
I might do that. Maybe I can write a story about it, like the article, something like be like, hey, this is my first time going to a fashion show, and I'm really astounded by all of the because Scat students are very creative people when they do like
Hmm.
their costumes and everything. Because I will tell you one thing. There was this assignment I had to do in my humanities class back then when I finished my cybersecurity program back in December. Um, and congratulations to me, by the way. Um,
Congrats.
I had this humanities class, and we had to talk about how women aren't like being like very artistic or something. I don't know what that sign was called, but what I did say in my paragraph that my professor really liked, he gave me a 95. He liked that I was pointing out the dresses, saying like, now I'm not much of an art person, but I do understand how people usually do their costumes to represent their culture.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen so many like, Hispanics, Asians, African Americans who do like stuff in fashion shows and they customize their outfits. Like, if you've seen stuff like in like what's those things that's kind of like the Grammys, but I don't know what it's called. They show off their costumes or something. I don't know what that event
The
is called.
pageants?
Pageants? No, it's not the pageant.
Miss
It's something
you?
else. It's something that they show on TV. I'm trying to remember what it was, but when they show like their outfits and everything, when it's mostly in Los Angeles, but I just can't remember what it was.
The
But I know what
cost
I'm talking about.
well, there's a costume pageant as well,
Mm.
and that happens in LA. Like
Yeah,
there's
that's probably
multiple. Yeah, there's multiple ones. But
yeah. It's the one where all the like celebrities dress up in their outfits and everything. I just can't remember what it was, but I know what I'm talking about.
the Met Gala?
That's what it was. The Met Gala.
Okay. My brain was not gonna let it go. I'm so sorry. I was like,
Yes, that's what it
I'm
was.
going
The
to
Met,
figure this out.
the Met Gala. All these celebrities from different cultures go all out in their costumes at the Met Gala, and they're and
Hmm.
they're really astounding. Like they're very
Fashion is a
amazing.
show.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
It's really amazing. So I was like, well, shoot, maybe next time I'll save my money and go to one of these fashion shows.
Again, 10/10 recommend.
Okay. But yeah, so anything, so yeah, it's pretty much same thing. Music, fashion, film, they shaped your performances. Music and fashion have shaped your performances because, whatever music you listen to, it goes into that costume for the next burlesque show you're about to do.
Yeah.
So can't wait to see more of that. So we're almost at the end of this session. Then we'll be in section two, identity, representation, and presence. I'm
Okay.
talking too fast. I got too excited after that last one.
No, you're good. You're good.
Now, looking back, what moment made you feel like you truly belong on the burlesque stage?
Hmm. Uh, I don't know. I don't think there was a defining moment, to be honest. It's just like the overall feel, like the more confidence that you have of doing something that comes natural, feels like you belong when you don't have to fit yourself into a puzzle, like you fall naturally. I think over time of realizing that I belonged on in like within burlesque and on a burlesque stage is when I was creating that type of performance magic without realizing it. Like my impact mattered more than what I was actually putting out. And I was like, well, I'm always asking myself, what happened if I actually like put my whole effort into a thing? Well, I could really do a thing. I don't know. It just felt I've always felt like this was the place I was supposed to be.
Yeah, pretty much once you start something, you're already in.
Like it's
So,
it's It's never left me, and I've always felt like this was the spot why I was there. No one's ever made me feel like no one could make me feel like I never belonged there, to be fair.
Yeah. And sometimes it's like, and I think you're familiar with imposter syndrome, right?
Mhm. Oh yes. Oh
Yes,
yes.
some people have those like, can I really be doing this and everything? But most likely, if you have someone who comes up to say, I really like this show, I can't wait to see more of them, that makes you feel like that I can keep doing this. Like
Yeah.
at first when I started this thing, I was like, can I really be doing this? I don't know. Let's see how it works out first. I don't know. And then after 24 hours, when I did my first episode,
Hmm.
it went up to 1.1K views. And I was like,
Okay.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I'll keep doing it, see where it takes me. Now I'm pretty much now by the time this I'll be at 50 episodes.
I
It's
love
crazy.
that. Yeah,
So
like no one's ever like I have come off stage and no one's ever gone like that was horrible. Like nothing of that nature. So it's just like imposter syndrome. Yeah, I think it's normal to get inside your head of going because you stare at the same thing to compare it to, here you stare at the same costume, and if you trust it, which most of us do, we share it. We make sure, like, hey, does this look stupid, or this doesn't look like this looks like the thing I'm trying to look at, because it's important to have out input, outside
mm,
input, rather than the echo chamber, because you don't want to accidentally uh, create crap. I say as that, like whoopsie, it was a fever dream.
yeah, very true, very true. All right, so we're out that section now. Now we're in section two, identity, representation, and presence.
Ooh.
Now, as a black burlesque performer,
Mhm.
how has your identity shaped the way you approach performance and storytelling?
Who? So, a black burlesque performer, we do not have the same journey, period, that our white counterparts have. When you do burlesque as a black femme and as a black person, I feel like it already comes with different levels of you can't or usually, quote unquote. So, my identity as a black femme is always set in when I come to burlesque is in a set of power, because it's displaying my black body on my own terms for the consumption of not just black people. So my black identity has forced me to have a sense of pride when I step on stage. Again, tied in with I don't want to accidentally create crap, because it matters to me. It matters to me. As a black person, you always have to do everything twice as good, twice as whatever as the basic is. And it's not any different in performance art. It's not any different within burlesque. Unfortunately, in our year Lord of 2026, it's still very much that of every time. You feel like you always have to carry the sense of I am enough, I'm good enough, and having the backing of like your ancestors also take a place of this, because doing dance and doing performance isn't anything new for Black people. Isn't anything new for our culture. It's a set that we've always had, and we've always have, and we always will have. But it's carrying that sense of carrying a tradition you didn't know you had in you. I think that's how it has influenced and like taken a space there.
Yeah. Well, Knox, it's the same thing. Well, we heard the same tune. We heard the same tune over and over and over again.
Mm.
And it's not going to make any difference whether it's like, because I know, like you said, everybody's path is different.
Hmm.
White people have their own way of doing things. Black people have their way of doing things. Asian, Hispanics, everybody has their own way of doing things. What
Yeah.
matters is how perfect it's going to be in the end, and be like, I did this by myself. I don't didn't care what people think of me as a different person.
Yeah, you're doing it
Person.
for you. It's your artistic expression. It's your artistic expression. I've just realized that the majority of Black and Brown creators always have their culture embedded within their artistic expression. And I love that. I think that's the thing that defines us differently too.
Yeah, there's so many, black creators out there who do like a lot of like artistic stuff, illustrations, photography,
Hmm.
and it's talent. Like, black people find ways to express their talent in their own way that other people couldn't. And it's,
Yeah.
it's something that people really need to start really paying attention to. But I was like, okay, I understand how they do things over here. Because one time they're gonna wake up in the morning and just be like, it's the same thing over and over again. Let's go experience something different so we can learn from it. Like, if a person wants to, hey, I didn't know much about this. Can you teach me about it so I can understand? And maybe I can share this with anyone else who's willing to listen.
Hmm.
And yeah, we just need to keep I think the main thing is let's not forget that we are still our own person.
Yeah.
Like we got to just stay focused and understand. Hey, I'm doing this art because I like this kind of stuff. I like doing art just for the love of it. I don't care. I'm not doing it just to get somebody's attention. I'm doing this because I want this to be my successful work, and people can look
Yeah.
back on this.
Absolutely. It's just going to be a reflection of you at the end of the day.
Exactly. Now next question. Burlesque has not always been an inclusive space. If you're familiar with that. Um,
Yes.
what changes have you witnessed and where is work still needed?
Changes that I have witnessed is the blooming of Black burlesque. Um, there's always been Black burlesque performers, period. The 2020 again gave accessibility because everything went online, and the accessibility of burlesque classes has always been a little bit gate kept from financially. And I never went to a school. I was from a small town, so I got recruited into a troupe. So if you weren't recruited into a troupe, people would have like classes or things that, that cost like almost or over $1,000 to do a course, and that's not feasible. That's very disposable income that a lot of Black and brown people did not have. And during the pandemic, that seemed to go away, that last, and the blooming of it has been really, really great. The work still needs to be done on fully teaching because the since the boom was so quick, a lot of history has been glossed over. Um, the TikTokification of it all, if you will, for work that still needs to be done as well. For all of us Black and brown bodies, there's still all white lineups. And that's wild, especially in like I see like there is a white lineup show currently, and they are within they are surrounded by melanin as well. So it's always very interesting to me. Like having a white lineup is a choice. At this point, it's a choice, and that has always been an issue within burlesque because it has excluded Black and brown and Asian and like BIPOC. It has excluded BIPOC performers on many different levels. So to see that kind of seep like go back to like the norm of what they would view as classic burlesque, and classic they mean a thin white girl and sparkles. It raises its head just like anything else.
That's interesting. I've never seen that before. All white lineups?
Mhm.
I just felt like they could be doing more to this white lineups because there's been so many backlash with people just doing like all white lineups and everything. Like, and this
Yeah.
goes for anything in general. Like, I've seen so many people who are complaining, like, and I'll give you a few examples. There was, when they did the Little Mermaid 2023 back in, no 2023, there was a lot of backlash because Ariel
Yeah.
was black.
Yeah.
But here's something the director said in a message: using the same character over and over and over again is not how we move forward.
No, no, it's not. I mean, and it was such an odd thing because I was like, were y'all not around in '97? You weren't. But around the
Yeah, I
seven
was.
for Cinderella, like Brandy was a black Cinderella. This is not the first time of anything that a black
Mm-hmm.
character like it's not the first time of a thing. Like we repeat patterns, but the pattern that always gets repeated is that like the outburst, the racist outburst, because there's always going to be racist people.
And they also had stuff with there's a tax on the One Piece character last year in 2025, and then there was Astra from How to Train Your Dragon. She was a black character and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Even the actress was like, I don't care what the fan base thinks about me. I'm here to make a film. That's all that matters. And they had the same thing with when they did Captain America: Brave New World, and it was like they were the movie. Then the movie was great. I don't understand why y'all be hating, but they were just a little upset that Steve Rogers wasn't in there.
I mean, yeah, and it just doesn't matter if you take the Ironheart, for instance. Like even when you make your own character, or when the character's been established, you still get that kind of backlash. So again, it's not the character that's the problem. You know, it's the outside world that demands these things.
And this goes back, and it goes back to you. Like with all these white, they need to have more diverse lineups. Like there are a bunch of
It just
black people.
surprises me that it's not a basis. Like I don't know. It's like going through a box of crayons and somehow coming off of five white ones, and you're like, how did this happen? There's only white crayons. Like, how do you not end up? That's to me like that at that point that makes a choice because there's so much the diversity here within Washington alone, like and not in all parts, obviously. It's like it is what it is, it's up north. But within the niche community of burlesque, there's quite enough variety. So again, to pick out the minority of the bunch is glaring.
Well, other thing too, Knox, like I maintain saying this before on my previous episode, like people, when I did a panel talking about how people were doing blackface, and everything, I
Hmm.
was telling people, and I told you about that when I first met you at Superstar. Like people are just kicking and dragging their feet right now, trying to get with the program. It's like there's still like
Lazy.
this far in the world right now. There's no
Right.
excuse for it.
Right. Like you're doing this as a choice. Go over there in the corner. Go over there. Uh, yeah, it's wild and it's just an ongoing thing. And I thought it would be over by now, but guess not.
Well, hey, if y'all gonna keep being negative, we're gonna keep being positive and keep talking about it.
Absolutely.
I always tell people peace and love over hatred. And speaking of that, last week I had an incident with a guy who came on my YouTube page. Her name is Abby Bocoder. She's a very sweet lady. She does film. She's an actress. There's this one incident where this person was attacking her because she didn't like the role that Abby was playing because she was a black woman. And I was like, what's interesting to me about that is that you didn't go after the other people I interviewed. You decided to attack this one person, and she's a black woman on my YouTube page.
Ooh, a
That's
choice.
outside. That's really interesting to me.
A choice.
Yeah, and then of course, she hit her face on YouTube, so I couldn't see it. And I was like, and we both know that you did that because you're a coward.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
so, and
That's
guess what? She was putting on all the captions. She misspelled her words when she was venting frustration. I was like, man, she sounds like a 10-year-old with these typing skills.
I mean, as a little claw person, sometimes when I get a little upset, but yeah, attacking people online is just not been there, done that.
Yeah,
Uh,
listen, and guess what? Some of the people liked one of my comments when they like my post almost has nine oh, my when I posted that I didn't use any hashtags. That post has 900 views on Instagram
Ooh, nice.
because I really laid it into her.
Good.
And some people, and guess what? Some people saying, "Man, you killed this." Hey, I be trying to tell y'all, if y'all come at me, just be forewarned that I will bring the receipts.
Yeah. If you come for a battle, expect one. That is the golden rule of online. I don't like the hiding, throwing rocks and hiding your hand type shit. Like no, stand behind what you say and then
Mhm.
don't get your feelings hurt if someone matches your energy. I do not understand that.
Matches and exceeds your energy. There you
As a
go.
former internet demon, I kind of understand.
So, but yeah, I think the burlesque community they need to do better. Like, yo, all these white liners, yeah, yo, throw in some diverse people. Like,
I mean, with that said, there are many diverse. It's just again, just like any other industry, of where you're gonna see a all white, movie casting, where there are plenty of black actors that could have filled that. It's just the same equivalency of it all. Of like, yeah, all right.
hmm. Well, I think the more we keep speaking out up about it and just keep educating people. Oh,
And fostering
this
our
is
own community, absolutely too.
so. I just tell people just keep the pressure up.
Yeah. I'm like, honestly, like now that the accessibility is there, the more of us grow, the more of us are getting to know it. It used to be it's still a very niche art because it's not overall still mainstream, but I know more people who have been on Netflix within burlesque than not. I know people who tour, the people who performed with Dita, and that's our mainstream person. So it's a growing art, and I think that you can't rely on the outside world to continue to try to accept you, because it's not it's not the vibe, but also realizing that you're worthy and worth it. And so we continue to make sure that our own community grows, because without us, there is no us. So less on making the outside world accept, and more of, for me, making sure that we're here, because that's what matters to me.
Of course, let's keep hope alive here
Mhm.
always. Um, Next question: your performances often center power and control. Now, how do you redefine sensuality on your own terms?
Very gently. It's always wavering for me, of what is sensual and what is not. Um, Nudity is, for me, isn't necessarily sensual. It's getting there is the hype for me, which is why I usually take my time to get there. Um, so redefining sensuality for me, I really can't put that into words, because it just feels like a part of me that's always in flux of what is sensual, and what it could be. My body for this number, it could be this glove for another number. I think also because it differs for everyone of what they found sensual in your number, and what you find sensual. So it's just all a big blob thing. For personally, for my body, I never felt as sensual of a person until I started doing burlesque. I could be sensual at times, but I didn't really know how to tap into that. And doing burlesque has really hyped up my sexual awareness of like what it means, to stand beveled or elongate yourself in a line, to really turn it on, is like training a muscle that you sometimes did you realize you didn't have. Everyone has a sensuality muscle, I feel, and like becoming aware of your own body. I think that's how. I hope that was like a, a direct answer, not a roundabout way. The ADHD be winning sometimes.
It's okay. I think that's true. And I'll be honest. I be telling people. And I had a discussion with Azor about this. Sometimes being like very consentful in all places you go to. Like if you're not comfortable sharing all of yourself, I understand that. I mean, like you guys as boyfriends, you already got it bad enough trying to like show yourselves at these performances. And people be asking for way too much, and it's
What would
like
you be asking? You give
huh?
a mouse a cookie. You give a mouse a cookie. They want more cookies. That's the downfall, but also that's a I feel like that is a testament to the work that we do. If we keep you wanting more, our job is done.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. And sometimes you got to go like beyond because I know like Nox, and I know sometimes it's not always happy or comfortable at times, but you do realize
Yeah.
that this is something that I have to do, whether it's uncomfortable. Like sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do. Same thing with me. I'd had stuff when I was young. I There was stuff I didn't want to do, but I had
Hmm.
to do it because this is the only way to get the job done.
Yeah.
And so it's like, like for example, like, I don't like getting shots. I don't like needles, but I had to get a shot to make myself feel better.
Yeah. Ironically, I like performing, but I don't like the everything that goes up right up to it. My favorite part of performing is either after I'm done or during the stage. There's no other more. So it's like getting there, like completing a project, taking pictures, the best part. My worst part is when people are like, "Will you come perform this?" And I'm like, "No, no, I will not. I'll be there." God, you know, like it's making the biscuits. Like making the biscuits.
That's true, and true. And sometimes I be asking people, even like, I be like, because whether it's like burlesque or anything else or any kind of artwork, because I had a conversation with Baby Tats on Monday, very sweet tattoo artist that I talked to, by the way.
Mm.
There was things that they just couldn't like tattoo like any private parts and all that stuff. And it's like, if I ask for something specific, I'd be like, hey, I there's something I want to do specifically. What can we do about this? That way, you're just you're being at least
Yeah,
respectful and aware and respect of what
it's
the customer do what
sometimes,
the customer service is
but
providing.
like also if it is being a gig worker and
Mhm,
a sense of like that what I am, the best part about that is I don't have to. If I don't want to do something, I don't.
mhm.
And I know that's a privilege that I have. And you pay for it in different ways of like not being a direct employee of a thing. I take my freedom where I can get it. For sure, for sure. And I have to say that the only thing I don't like is it's something of my own making. Like boo hoo, my cup overrunneth with people wanting to book it. Like not a real problem, but other problems of like doing things I don't want to do, I realized real quickly that that never sat well with me, and I would be a problem. And so that's why I am a gig worker because I can easily go, absolutely not, and then go elsewhere. Um, yeah, I'd hate being made uncomfortable, especially as a femme. No.
Mhm. I understand, and it's and women face like different challenges like every day. Like I've seen people deal with harassment from like men and etc. and everything, and I'd be like,
Hmm.
you know, and I said this to my sister once when she was at like everybody else, all my friends. I was like, I don't know how you guys do it.
We have to speak softly and carry a big stick, you know, like
Hmm.
constantly. It's a constant immersion in people thinking that because of what you do is an open invitation of a thing. Also, because my art is sexual within nature. Like, that's my choice. That doesn't mean that's for me. You get to enjoy it at the level that I bring it to you, and that's it.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
Listen, if I come to those performances, I want to take what I can and get on out of here.
And that's how we like it. Buy a photo on the way out. Thank you, you know.
Exactly.
But don't
Hey,
be
all that.
creepy. Be appreciative. Don't be creepy. And I don't think that's hard. I think that's hard for people who don't understand and don't want to respect boundaries. And if
Yeah.
that's the case, I'm not interested in being sweet to you because you're not interested in treating me like a human. And what we do is very human.
exactly. Yeah, and as I told them before, asking for consent will carry a long way. If y'all say no, I'm keeping the train moving.
Mm-hmm. As one should.
So, plus, I got other things to do anyway. No, no, I'm just messing around here. Oh, next question. What does representation mean to you beyond simply being seen on stage?
It means seeing things that I've never seen before, seeing combinations um, of humanity that I did not know existed, and that's what it means. Like I see myself on stage, and that's a representation for somebody else. I see something else different on stage, and that's a representation for me because I've never seen X, Y, and Z. So I like seeing things that I would never place together, little combinations, and that's what representation means to me.
Exactly. Yeah, listen, beyond what people be like, beyond what saying, people are staring at me kind of weird or being a little jaded. Like, I don't care what burlesque performance on stage, as long as we get to enjoy the show and then enjoy the ride.
Mhm.
That's all that matters. Like,
Oh yeah.
people who keep coming and saying, "Oh, she black," like y'all keep your thoughts to yourself because nobody asked.
All right, right? Like never really it's not I don't think like the biggest pushback that I've seen recently has been about color and race, which is wild to consider refreshing considering, but of size.
Mhm.
Because that's the secondary thing of like people don't want people often will criticize a performer's size or appearance and like go home.
They just doing it.
Go home, baby.
They just doing it for attention. They just doing it for attention.
Yeah.
And I came up with a new phrase is, and people were laughing at this phrase when people were saying so just to get attention when they were attacking people. I was like,
Whaley.
I'll take shit nobody gives a fuck about for 500.
I like that.
I was
I
like,
like that.
you think anyone cares? You think anyone
Uh,
cares that you're doing this?
no one cares. No one cares. Go home. Yeah. Respond meanly. I absolutely will respond meanly. I
Mhm.
no longer care to have a discourse about things. It's expletive you and your mom and go on about because you felt comfortable enough to say that. I could obviously you feel comfortable enough to be an asshole, so I can be an asshole right back to you.
Again, match and exceed their energy. So, because one time there were so many people who were attacking me, like when I was playing on my Xbox. Yes, I do. Yes, I do have some games that I can play.
I got
Um,
an Xbox 360. Don't worry about it.
when I was playing Gears 5, this dude was calling me a bum and all that stuff. He kept
Oh,
calling me names. So here's how I responded back. I was like, okay, so apparently your superpower is name calling. Get some new material, jerk off.
dang.
And guess what? He didn't like what I said, so he started to type like a child and
Mm,
call me a huge bum and all that stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, I had to take a picture. I was like, look at this, he's crashing out.
that is a crash out. Goodness.
And guess what? He blocked me because he knew he couldn't take it. So I was like, you can go ahead and block me. I'm going to go back and play Gears 5. Okay, have a good night.
Good. Yeah.
So I be telling people, just be prepared when I start hitting back. Just, but yeah, if I can get back to what I was saying too, sorry, I got a little excited there too.
ADHD.
But you know no matter what you do, I don't care if it's Asian, black, white, Hispanic, I don't care what it is, as long as the show is good. If the show is good, I will sit in the seat and eat my popcorn.
Absolutely.
Wait, do they even sell popcorn at burlesque shows?
No, I
Hey,
don't think they should.
oh,
I don't think they should.
yeah, I was gonna be like, I'll pop some popcorn right quick and I'll just watch the show. just saying. But they should. Maybe they should.
No.
but that's a discussion for another day. Number 10, during Black History Month, how do you reflect on the legacy you're contributing within the performance art?
Like how is in like how I feel about it.
Yeah, like how you feel about like you're contributing in some sort of way.
I could do more. I always feel like personally I could do more. Um, for the past 2 to 3 years, I've really kind of been, in my opinion, dormant for a lot of a lot of things. And even though like I've created like troops and POC collectives and done that type of work, I feel like overall my impact is not within my liking for simply because I haven't put forth of things that I've learned now in my past couple of years of not of being dormant. So I haven't again shown all or done all that I feel like I can do. It's satisfactory of like impact within my burlesque during Black History Month. I always feel like I could do more for myself and for others. But I have to do more for myself first. And that's a hard task for me at times.
Yeah, there's no saying, take care of yourself before you take care of others. I know some people, spend hours trying to make sure they contribute to like, Black History Month in some sort of way. But you as a burlesque performer, you're already doing what you're doing, showing
I'm
people
already
that
out
no matter,
here. Yeah.
yes, you're already out there going to these shows, telling little black girls that, hey, you could do this type of art if you put your mind to it, no matter who you are. And, same way with me, me talking to people, this is like my way of contributing. Like I'm talking, having discussions, fighting back. That's my only way of doing things. Like, cause I am a
Mhm.
talker. I do like talking to people. Sometimes I get exhausted, but I do realize I got to keep having those connections.
Yeah. You find your
So,
voice where you can, and like that's the way that we use it constantly.
exactly. Um, Now we're out of that section now. Now we're in section three. We're halfway done now.
Yeah.
So it's getting interesting. Section three is performance process and the stage. Now, walk us through your creative process from concept to costume to performance night.
All right. So first, I get really high. Second, it's legal here. It's legal. Uh, usually I'll have a song, and I realize I try a bunch of processes, but I'm gonna tell you the one that is tried and true. I have to have the song first, song or songs. Otherwise, it's building a costume for a battle you don't know you're gonna have. So like you've like say you've built this mecha with like five Gallic guns or whatever on it, and you realize it's a sword fight. Like either you're blowing everything away or you're getting swiped at the knees because you can't see because you've overbuilt the thing. So um, I choose music first, and then I let that flow to what I would want to take off or do during said piece of music and work my way backwards, if that makes sense. Of that way, I will then design a costume based off of what I want to take off and then sketch it out, break it down, think about it for a long time, um, about a year. My newest costume I made in 7 days as a challenge to myself, and I had already had the music mixed and rendered as of last year because I loved that piece, and it just goes into the stash of burlesque music I'm going to use, but I haven't found the right costume for. And when I find fabric or, you know, things that I'm like, this reminds me of that one song, The Colors of the Song. Um, I sense the sage, yeah, so I will see I see sounds as colors a lot of the time. So a lot of my numbers are named after that experience. But when I find a fabric or something that reminds me of that song, that's how I can build the costume. and I'll build the costume, choreograph it, practice it, and then if I'm very privileged enough to have it booked beforehand, I get a stage. If not, I kind of sit on the number until it's requested or until I have a show for it. But I often will build things out of no one's request. It's just the art that I want to see.
But hey, it sounds like you got it under control. So just music, got you got your own very specific playlist statured out. So
Yeah,
that way it can help you get started before the next show starts. And
yeah.
it's something that people, it's something that most creators will want to do. Like when something comes out, I want to make sure that I don't go through like it's like reading the chapters out of a book. You got to make sure every chapter is
Editing.
complete.
Yeah, you it's the editing of a thing. Like I've had a number that got redesigned. It eventually became two separate numbers. And I didn't realize at the time that I was trying to fit all of too much into one performance and that it was actually two separate performances. So I have two numbers that used to be one number and they flow beautifully as their own separate numbers. But so the editing of the thing is really important for sure. And I think editing to me is not rushing to complete a thing. The only thing I should rush to complete is the costume because for me that's a base skill that I already have. But the creative process is the one that needs to be frolicked with.
Yeah, I was also gonna ask Knox, do you also keep like a journal or notes, something to keep track of? That also helps
Oh
too
yeah.
when doing it.
Oh, like sketches and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh myself. Yeah, I have. I have journals and stuff that I keep. Oh, it's over here.
Journal.
So like I have my sketchbook here, so I'll keep like a little thing.
Okay.
And so like to show you like the TV head stuff, we're gonna go back in time. I think that was the Yzma. And I
Okay.
think that's the one you saw, and that's me. Like my sketches are horrible, by the way. I cannot draw. Um,
They look okay. I'm not complaining.
but it's stuff like this for my snake act that I have. So I'll draw the first iteration of the TV head. Oh, what turned out to be that recent number that I call disrespectful horn section for reasons,
Oh.
but the notes that go into things. So this is kind of how I keep it going, keep it flowing. That's my Sindel sketch from here. So
Ooh.
that's how I kind of keep things um, in some type of visual order. Aside of that, it's really in my head, and that's probably not the like. It's a good place to keep it, but it's not. I could write and put down more, but I've tried different apps before, and don't they don't really they distract me more. I am an analog person, and so I need something in my hand. I need a planner. I need a sketch because keeping it on an app really doesn't do it for me. I need to be able to see the fabrics to
See,
feel it. Yeah.
memorize it. Yeah, I understand. Sometimes, having the phones, like apps and phones doesn't work, especially if you're trying to do art. I need to see everything up close physically instead of
Yeah, I need to
digitally.
t yeah, I need to ordering things for me it's like the worst because I'm like, oh God, this light better be correct. This I'm a textile person. I absolutely love to see and hear and put it all in front of me. But I've tried to use those cosplay tracking or costume tracking apps and the things that you I think it's called Milanote. I even tried that. It just did not work for me personally.
Yeah. And sometimes you got to do what's going to help you be successful in these performances. So I think you did a good thing, keeping everything physically and not digitally because
Thank
digitally you
you.
gotta, it's kind of like hard for performers like you guys. We want to have things physically so we can be able to memorize everything. So
Yeah.
I think that's the great way to walk through everything and just keep notes. So I say keep
Yeah.
doing it that way.
It's working.
Sometimes the digital stuff doesn't work all the time.
That's true. That's very true.
Number 12, how do you balance vulnerability and authority while performing such intimate art?
Knowing when to be either. Um, Authority when needed and vulnerability when it is safe to do so. So when I perform, if it's a rowdy crowd or like like more than usual, sometimes being vulnerable isn't going to be the go because they're going to take that as an open window type of thing. Whereas if you're more removed from the crowd, say at a higher level stage, I can be vulnerable on a higher level stage because unattainable if that reads. So I have that more opportunity to express vulnerability. But if you're in a tight bar situation or doing like a bar like number where you get to slink and move through crowds, you have to move with authority and like a velvet hand, like a velvet like iron type of grip with your crowd. It all moves with crowd control, I think, is what that integrates with. But knowing when to be is how I balance that.
Yeah, sometimes you have to switch between the two, and which is smart. You got to know when it's time to do this, be this person, and know when it's
Hmm.
time to be the other person. Like
Yeah,
two sides of the same coin. And
exactly.
mostly because I know, like some of those shows, don't you have like a lot of people there, or is it just
Oh yeah.
kind of
For those con shows, like they can fill up hundreds. You've seen those rooms. Like you're gonna get an excited crowd. One thing I love about a con crowd is that being around nerds excites me so much because everyone is in on it. Everyone wants to see it. Everyone's super excited. So that kind of crowd, usually reading, you can be vulnerable with. You can play, they're your best buds. Whereas sometimes if you get a non-nerd crowd, they can be either more reserved to where you're going to have to work differently around them. Not necessarily harder, just work differently. Or if they're an unexperienced crowd, which happens a lot, you'll get like tourists. If you have a tourist spot, you'll get people who think they can touch you. People who have touched you, people who, well, there was one video, I forgot the performer, but a woman had spanked her as she was passing by, and that woman was immediately ejected after that. We give a whole spiel about that, but people think that you can just touch anyone without consent, and that comes from like sometimes that comes from being vulnerable, turning your back on a patron. Like the vulnerability is different levels of it. But I've never felt unsafe or not able to be my full and fun self at a con crowd. I think that demographic comes with a lot of already learned things of like we're all almost all of us are on the spectrum to be there first off. So we're very heavily versed in consent and boundaries. We're all awkward and we're all standing around, but we're all here for the same thing, and that's lovely. Whereas going out into like the bigger parts of like bars and other venues, you're not going to get that because everyone's here for that particular show and not necessarily that. It's a different crowd.
wow. I'm sorry I had to go through that. Um, Like people just don't just sometimes people just be weird sometimes,
People wild.
especially and not just at those non-con places at conventions too. Because I know if you saw the news with a few fans, they've been like tracking down voice actors where hotels they were
That's
staying at.
crazy work. That is
That happened back in August with the voice of Tondro,
very,
Zach Angler. This woman had autism, and they found the hotel he was staying at later that night. I was like, even if you're
yeah.
on the autism spectrum, you can't be doing that.
No, it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse to be an asshole. It's not an excuse to be. manipulative. It's not like, oh, we don't understand. No, relate to cues. Okay, relate to social cues. I'm not
I was
gonna
gonna,
murder you.
yeah, I was gonna do like a video or something about it, but I just, I just didn't have the energy right before I went to the next one in Atlanta for Christmas because I was gonna
Mm.
be like, listen, I've been going to conventions since 2018, as evident with the shirts I'd be wearing. But there's something about conventions that makes people, how can I put this, fall into madness and do things that they really shouldn't be doing.
I feel like between overstimulation and then the hype of getting to meet someone that you admire, combined with our particular brain chemistry, is just it's a powder keg, like something could happen. You get super excited. Like I have one person I was really super excited to meet. I did not know how I was gonna act or like I remember getting my first tattoo, for instance. And I the biggest thing I regret ever when I was so nervous, I just grabbed the guy's arm because he had arm sleeve, great sleeves, and I was like, "Oh, that's great." You don't do that to people. I know you didn't do that to people. I was in my early 20s. I freaked out because I was so excited about it. And it haunts me to this day at 2:10 a.m. every night when I'm trying to sleep. My brain will go, "Remember that one time you did the thing?" So I'm not excused from it. I just feel like it's self-control. And sometimes people need different type of help as well. Because if you think that is normal behavior, surprise, surprise, it's not.
No, it's time. And we have to keep educating people on this. Like, I would say when I was at Superstar, I was just trying to talk to some of the voice actors and everything. But thing
Mhm.
is, my camera was off, and I was just asking like some regular interview questions because I made sure it was off the regular because I know if they
Yeah.
don't want to be on camera, no questions asked. I'll turn the camera off.
Yeah.
But there was one of the staff members who kind of came at me and trying to kind of trying to grab me away from him. I was like, hey, now I didn't like how the way he was pushing me away. I didn't like him putting his hands on me.
Yeah. You
But
shouldn't put your hands on me.
number two, if you're gonna say even if you're not recording, you can't be interviewing like the voice actors or something, you could have put it on your website, stupid.
Mm.
Like they didn't have it on the website, like even off the record, you have to have a press pass. I had no cameras on me, but I was
Oh
like, you know
yeah.
what?
Also volunteers. Yeah. It depends. I think the worst scenario I ever ran into was the con was closing and we had two stragglers that were left over, and the guy was Mick Foley, and he was leaving for a show that he had, and two guys, a person, I'm not gonna assume gender here because cosplay, but they immediately started taking pictures and were like, "Can I have a photo?" Like he's obviously trying to leave, but they're swarming him. And it's just
Mm,
two people, but they're trying to corner him and swarming him, and we're having to get security. Like trying to figure out how to buffer in between because they're not being violent, but their boundaries none. And I
mm,
think that a lot of people are used to witnessing that. So anytime they see a quote unquote normal, a
mm,
non-con person talking to the talent, they get overprotective and over aggressive about it because of incidents like that. It's not an excuse. It's just that that's the normal instance that I see people talking to them because it's a celebrity. They're so excited. So when we get to meet a celebrity, sometimes we yap longer than usual because you're
true.
so excited.
Mm,
When I
yeah.
met
Hey,
Pam Grier, that was the person I was excited to meet. So I had to
okay.
check, make sure that I didn't yap more than five. I had like a little inner timer, and I called "Be normal," be so normal right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I did well, but I had to check it. I had to check it to make sure. And I think it's that kind of self-control and that kind of self-awareness that is the difference. Again, if you think that following a voice actor to their hotel room is normal, you don't care about boundaries or you need help establishing them. And
and I
that's
keep
something
telling
totally different.
and I keep telling this to everyone. These people, like, they're not the character.
No, they're just
Like
the
I don't.
actor.
That's what I'm saying. I don't care if they voice all these characters. At the end of the day, they're still people.
Yeah.
And I have so many VAs who are liking my stuff, and they like that I'm being like I'm one of the very good fans out there who respect, like, let them have time to themselves. They got other lives. They got lives too.
Mhm.
So let's just treat them all like that. And afterwards, because some of them, when I went to so many conventions, they like my concept of what I'm trying to do. Like, I don't want to talk to y'all not just as voice actors. I want to talk to y'all as people, and they
Which is
like that
what.
concept.
Yeah. When you treat a person like a person, again, very human work. Very human work.
Yeah. So, but yeah, after that incident with that guy in Superstar Con, I didn't want to get into the argument or something. Be like, hey, don't put your hands on me. You could have said what now? What? I'm not going to cause a scene. I'm just going to keep it moving.
Yeah, I'm sorry that happened though.
So sometimes these volunteers, they have like so much power to be doing whatever the hell they want. There was this one time where I went to Savannah Animation last year in 2025, not this year. There's this one guy in the email who's telling me if you have the money to get help us get the voice of the league, we'll be happy to do so. I was like, okay, now when in all these years did fans have to pay money just to get somebody to come this way? When has that ever happened? So when I emailed the director, he told me like that was not me. He got that employee fired.
Mm.
So
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. Like they act like they got all this power and they can do whatever they want, but that's not what you're here to do.
yeah.
So when that happened at Superstar Con, I didn't want to cause a scene. So I was like, I'm not gonna like I should have had my phone out recording, but I was like, nah, I don't want to be embarrassed in front of the VAs I'm trying to see, because I wanted to interview on one of them, Car Edwards, the voice of Goten and Videl. I got her stuff, so I'll talk to her at a later date soon. But
Good.
yeah,
That's
it would help if y'all doofuses put the information on the website.
Yeah, more information is always appreciated.
Like again, camera wasn't on. My camera was not on at all. I was just asking regular questions, just a test run before I bring them on here later. But then he came out to me saying that even if you're not on the camera, you can't be doing that stuff. But yeah,
Mm.
y'all didn't put that on your website, and I looked at the website before I came that way. Just, but it is what it is. What's said and done.
Yeah.
So if something like that happens again, I'll be ready. So, but let's go on to the next question now. I know that was a lot of information. That's a little bit, but it's important to have these types of conversations.
Yeah.
Costuming plays a major role in burlesque. Now, how do you use it to enhance narrative and impact?
Um, Basically to tell a story. So I like costumes that tell a story that goes along with the music. For instance, I will use Yzma. So everyone like really um, usually already knows of like Emperor's New Groove of going back to like con work. So with her costume that transforms, like I have one version that transforms her into a cat, which does so in the movie. So it's like telling the fan fiction of the movie with your through your costume. So you have like quick changes, magic pulls, things like that. For another version of Yzma, there's a feather fan in her actual headdress as she dances with Kronk. So you tell your story through your costume that's indicative to your character. If it's like some like other property, like Disney of property, the storytelling, the story's already there. You just have to convert it into your costume. When it's your own original character, then you're telling your own story, so you can build whatever you want into it. But I feel like having the proper costume that goes with the proper song is important to what story you're trying to tell also.
Oh, hey, like we said before, whatever music, whatever theme it is, the music has to relate to that theme, and the costume has to relate to the music and theme, no matter
I do,
whatever it is.
I agree. There's unless it's like meant to be ironic, you know. I'm pretty sure this has been. this has been done, and forgive me if I don't, if it has, and I do not remember the performer's name, but I feel like there is an astronaut number that's out there. But when they take off the helmet, it's "Take My Breath Away," Berlin.
Hmm.
And so
Yeah.
like they're choking in space, but also remove like they're losing parts of their costume, aka their their spacesuit again. So you have a person taking your glove off for you, a like Barbarella, or this is probably a better one. So there is a performer who does a Barbarella number, and for those who do not know, it's an old sci-fi flick. But there's an intro of the movie where she goes back into her spaceship, and the title opening song is her spacesuit being floated off, and she being like almost naked, which was like lewd in the 60s of like, ah man, still a sexy space lady. Whereas transfers into burlesque of it's like the same opening scene, but someone in a full Zentai suit is dressed in black and is waving the glove with you. So like that's using people as props, but also your costume telling the story of it being the cosplay from the movie and then moving and coming off in a way that looks like it would be done in space.
Sounds like something out of a movie or show. That sounds amazing.
Ideally, a lot of it I always describe uh nerdlesque particularly as visual fan fiction.
Wow.
So
That's really exciting. I actually like that because I want to see more of that kind of stuff. Like there's something like it's like if a suit like comes down, like looks like it's coming up in flames and it transforms into something amazing. It's see now
that's
I'm thinking of
that's what I
Hunger.
like.
I'm thinking of
Hunger
Hunger
Games.
Games, Can't Catching Fire, when she did the
Yes.
dress and it went up in flames and
Full.
stuff.
There was a girl on a YouTube that tried this. I remember seeing it. It would I think she worked with fire as well, but she was able to light the brim of her dress on fire as well. Like people have tried this. I don't know within burlesque and like, but if I haven't seen it, it would be great representation, of like fire. I do love a good flame moment. But yes, these things are possible. These things are absolutely possible. But it's that combination of cosplayers and burlesquers. Like very few are both. And it's a lot of time and a lot of effort and thousands of dollars go into a really good cosplay that emulates the thing, right?
Hmm.
And so I feel like if you're able to combine what I call the craziness of a cosplayer with like the seductiveness of the burlesque player, you would get like a crazy good costume.
Okay. Yeah, like that would be something very exciting. I would like to see. Like, listen, Nas, if you could try to do something with flames, that might be exciting to see next.
I'm scared. I do love me some arson, but I don't know. Working with flame, putting the TV on my head
Your
is like my
priority.
intro. Yeah, it's like my intro to into well, let's see how dangerous we can get, I guess. So I'm slowly dipping in there, but also I am self-taught with everything that I do, so I would absolutely like telling you of like how it would have to go down. I would have to find someone who works with fire. I would have to train under them for a long time. Probably years and years. I feel like it would be 2 years minimum before I could even do, and I don't even know. Like I don't even know how long it would take for me to even get to where I could do it safely. Then there would have to be insurance that goes along with that, right? Realistically, I'd have to carry my own fire insurance. I'd have to make sure that the venue that hires me also is okay and has a fire extinguisher on hand. And then I would have to get written permission from the producer, who would have to get permission from the owner of the venue. Like, there's a lot of lists that go on into something like a lot of red tape just to set yourself on fire.
Oh my gosh. Well, I guess that can be on the shelf for now. Just focus on the TV box.
I'll go ahead and start that training.
So,
I
all right.
do know a performer here by the name of Onyx Wolf that sets their pasties on fire every now and again.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
I'll send you the link. That one I can show you. I can
Okay,
show you. And
okay.
she's
Yeah,
lovely.
I'll check it out later once you send it to me.
Yeah.
Um, let's go on to section four. I'm going to now listen. I know we've been here for a while. I'm going to ask three powerful questions on section four. Okay, I try to have as many
Okay.
questions as possible. Okay,
Okay.
now section four is community leadership and industry impact. Now, what responsibilities come with being a visible figure in the burlesque community?
Everything you do matters. Most of what you say can have an impact, whether you realize it or not. So being visible means that whether I want to or not, I represent Black performers. I represent non binary performers. I represent people who look like me or someone who wants to look like me. I represent what I am essentially advertising. Whether I move with integrity or not matters. My and that goes along with your branding as well, I think, for lack of a better term, because I hate that word. But when I move, I have to move with confidence, again, with integrity, so that what I put forth, I wouldn't mind being brought up. If someone looks at me and goes, "My God, I never knew that Black Burlesque was that. That is in my mind forever." I want to make sure that I've put a positive and impactful memory on somebody because I unfortunately will be that representation for them until they see another and realize that there are a plethora, dozens of us out there, to see that. But it's a responsibility of you have to move as if you'll be the first and only of what you represent
Yeah. Yeah,
to
definitely.
me.
We want people to understand like, oh, shoot, I didn't know Black Purse was really a thing, because we have like I don't think like we have like so many people who are like censoring other talented people, which is
Hmm.
really not a good thing. Like
No,
no
no,
matter
it's
no
not.
matter how no matter how hard you try to censor it, it's just going to be more bigger and louder the next time.
Yes, yes, we do have we have all types of censorships even within our own community. It is what it is. It's not saying that it's great. It's just a thing that is. But I've had people come up to me and they were so excited. They're like, I never, I've been watching you for years, unbeknownst to me. And they're like, everything that you've done has just been so amazing. And I've been really, like you have people who watch you, you don't even know who watches you.
Mm,
You're somebody's inspiration, whether you want to be, whether you realize it or not. And so it puts this responsibility on me of going, would I be proud of this? Am I proud of this? I'm not just doing this. It's not just me out here. It's
mm-hmm.
never just me. Every time I step on stage, yes, I'm doing my art for myself, but it's never just me out there. And that's the responsibility that we take on.
Yeah, like as long as it's not about whether people, I think the main thing is it's whether or not if it's fulfilling to you, and it's about how successful you're going to be when you finish the final phase of the
Yeah.
dance or project that you're working on. People are always going to have very going to okay, well, people are going to be very powerful in their when they critique your work. But what
Hmm.
matters is that you did the best way you could, and not
Yeah, am
let
I
any
proud
and
of
not
it?
yes, and
Yeah.
not let then don't let anyone else tell you different.
Oh no.
Like I had that same problem too. People kept telling me, I couldn't do this. People kept critiquing me about all the work I've done, but that didn't stop me from where I had to go.
No, no, you're supposed to always be evolving and growing no matter what. I think people think that if they critique you in the middle of your work, that's it, and you should No one gets to be anyone's boss of when they start or stop a thing. So, as long as you're not doing harm to other people, go, go on about and grow.
Oh yeah, of course, always. Next one, how do you mentor or support emerging performers, particularly Black and people of color artists?
I try to provide where I can things that have cost me for free. So I'll give a lot of things that, like I've given feather fans, costumes, things like that, physical things that would usually prevent a black or brown burlesque performer from advancing due to financial constraints. That was the biggest thing. Burlesque is very expensive. Performance art in general is very expensive, but burlesque is stupidly expensive and not always inclusive. Not, so a lot of things have been focused on that really aren't important, but are at the same time, again, costuming. If you're just starting out, usually you're not going to have a big elaborate costume, but you want something that's going to grab people, especially if you got the talent. Again, costume and talent, not just costume. But so stuff like that, I tend to give rather than sell of my old stuff that still is up to par. I try to give knowledge where I can, teach what I can. Um, Anything that prevents an up and coming or a newer performer from having a hard time like I did. In the areas where I had it the hardest, I try to make it the softest for anybody coming up. And that's when I do take the chance to mentor because I don't openly mentor anymore. I don't know if I needed to work on myself but you end up mentoring by accident half the time anyway. So just make sure that you mentor with, again, integrity and softness.
Yeah, Knox, if you can get, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you can spare any time teaching someone else who's trying to get into this stuff, do it. They're going to need all the mentoring, the lessons they need, so they can know exactly what they're going to be doing for the next few years to come.
Yeah, and without implementing that your journey is going to be their journey as well.
Yeah, and there's a lot of mentors out there just teaching us the best ways we do things.
Yeah,
And that's really something very powerful to have. Like, you got to have someone who's like guiding you through the stuff that you went through and understand that, like, hey, I've been through down this road. This is something you can take some notes from my playbook so you can
yeah,
understand.
yeah, absolutely that. I am always going, you should definitely not do that, I think. But try this. But also, I'm not
I understand.
I call it being the Robert De Niro of the situation. I'm not saying you should. It'd be cool if you didn't. That kind of
Definitely.
thing.
Well, shoot. Well, hey, keep teaching those people. They're gonna need it, especially if you got so many new burlesque performers coming in like every year.
I love it. I love it. I do.
All right. Next one. This will just be the last question because I had three. Then we'll be at the finale. Now, how do you protect the integrity of your art while navigating festivals, competitions, and mainstream spaces?
Whew. Well, to start with competitions, I don't compete anymore. Um, I found that this is part of the maintaining, but the integrity of my art is the reason I don't, has it turned competition turned me into less of working on my art and working on something that was ready to compete, and it just didn't vibe with the artist part of me of like I want to do this, but this is what's going to kill in this competition, so I do this. And there's nothing wrong with people who want to do competitions and operate like that. There's literally an order of operations to be followed, and it's successful. It just did not resonate with me in the long term of, and I realized that a couple of titles in. So I realized after, I think the last thing I competed for was Burlesque Hall of Fame, and it was a queen competition, and it went fantastic. I did a fantastic run. I did not win or place. I had the best experience I have ever had in a backstage of competing again, like against and with my peers. Like it didn't feel like a competition backstage. And I realized that that was not the norm that I experienced. And again, this was 2021. So the competition that I was supposed to compete in was 2020. And of course, that didn't happen. But the following year, I realized that I wanted to leave with this most positive and fulfilling experience of getting to do something that I designed in a way that spoke to me. And I just don't want what I've experienced previously. And so decided that was going to be my last competition. And that's how I've preserved the art that I wanted to make and see rather than the art I thought that people would want to see and I needed to compete with to get somewhere. I do realize that I stopped at a place of privilege competition wise because I do have queen titles. I do have so many titles that have propelled and helped me career wise. Um, Mainstream, the best way that I can say that I've preserved the integrity of my art is by not changing it. So if someone wants the art, they're going to pay for the number as it is and whatever my contract states that you're going to else pay for. And that's how I preserve it by not changing a lot and also by saying no. That I think that has been the the biggest and shortest word that I have used to maintain my own integrity, which is integrated to my art. It's just by saying no, that's not for me, or no, this is not that. Or no, I will not combine two numbers that you've seen on stage to make one number that you want to see. Like, not, not the thing. No, this number cannot be this. This number is this, and that's what you're going to book. If you don't like that, then you have all these others, or you don't have to book me. And making sure that I make art that speaks to myself without harming others.
Oh yeah, that's really good. You have to, sometimes you have to protect your peace. Like some people just be very competitive these days, and it's like, sure, we're competitive, we're trying to reach for the stars, but we're okay with landing on the moon.
Right?
Eh,
Right? Honestly, yeah. If I get there, um, Dorian Corey once said that if you shoot an arrow and it goes real high, hooray for you.
All that matters. So it's okay if we all have those like, it's okay if we have those like, for how can I say this? I'm trying to find the right analogy. It's okay if we have those like, fork in the roads, and it's like we have
Yeah,
to like, stop and think, and what else is like coming up, knowing when to stop, knowing when it's time to get back to work. Because I know like everyone thinks everything's going to be perfection. It's not. We're not all
no.
perfect human beings. It's impossible.
I've messed
Like
up. I've taken the wrong fork before. Sure,
like
sure
we're all
have.
going to make mistakes. It's inevitable.
Hmm.
It's inevitable to make mistakes, and I
It's how
think.
you deal with them. It's how you deal with the aftermath of the consequences of your mistakes. The accountability of your mistakes is what matters. Making mistakes is, again, human work.
Mhm. And listen,
Dealing
it's
with it.
not it's not all about remembering the good stuff. That's not what makes our life have meaning. It's also
Hmm.
remembering the bad stuff too.
Yes, because if you don't remember the bad stuff, you end up repeating it. Absolutely. I am not an eraser of history. Like I like to preserve a lot of burlesque history. I like a bad or good of my own self, of general, and it's just like, no, that didn't happen. This happened. And because this happened, this bad thing happened. So we should stop that, which always leads back to the mentoring ship. I think of having the bad experiences also makes you a good mentor because if you've always made the right choice, good, wait, one, congratulations on being God's favorite. Because how did you manage that? But you don't know where the danger is because you've never experienced it. Whereas, people with scars, we can tell you how we got them.
Yeah, we got the scars. Trust me. Like I have so many scars, but I didn't let them take over my life. I learned from them and kept
Hmm.
going. Because if I just held on to the past for so long, and it's like I'm still there and not
You'll
learning
be
moving
bitter.
forward.
Yeah, you'll be bitter and you won't grow.
Yeah, exactly. So we can't let that happen again.
No.
Good, bad, doesn't matter what you did as long as you do what matters now.
Yes.
So, we're at the finale now, so let's go ahead and wrap this thing up.
Do
So,
it.
how has burlesque changed you as a person, not just a performer?
It has made me happier. I have never been more myself until I started and continued to do burlesque, to be honest. I've gotten to experience a part of me that did not know existed and has bloomed. And sorry if you can hear that. The apartment next is banged away. I'm about to Dremel and then we can have a battle later. Um, it has given me access to spaces and people who I vibe with. It it has given me a light that I didn't even know. I I know that I would not be as happy or the same person without burlesque had I not entered it. I have been through some horrible times because of it, but also I've had the greatest times of my life because of it. And I will take those pros over the cons any day. I'll do it again because I know that through this art form, I continue to express myself. I continue to learn how to do new things. I would have never taken apart a TV if it what had not been. I would have never thought to dress up as a cartoon character. I was still like on the fence about cosplaying when I entered burlesque. Nerdlesque was actually my intro to cosplay by doing it. Sindel was my first one. So without burlesque, there would never have been nerdlesque or cosplay for me. I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't have been at the cons. I wouldn't have met the people I love and dear. It has helped me find my community. Whereas if I had chose a more neurotypical or tried to, I never would have succeeded, and I didn't. I never
Mm.
did. It wasn't until I found this quirky little art that I started living and traveling. This art has taken me to London twice, the
Wow.
UK. I have toured the UK because of it. I've headlined the Bristol Burlesque Festival. That's the place where I don't know, like I may be aging myself, but it's the place where Tricky, came out, where trip hop was born, basically. And just to have these experiences and knowing that it would not have happened had I not stepped on, gotten gently pushed on the stage to do my little slam burlesque number in Amarillo, Texas, I would not be here. And that's how it has changed me as a person. It has allowed me to bloom for better or for worse, and I don't regret it.
Wow. That's really nice. That's really amazing. You gotta have like whatever burlesque really changed your life. You get to express yourself in any way. And I think that goes for all artists who try to do whatever it takes to make sure they're being successful and putting their work out there. They express themselves in art, burlesque,
Yeah.
illustrations, anything else. And you
Art,
be able to go. Doing those kind of things will take you to very amazing places.
it's amazing and it feels so real. Like artistic freedom is a joy. It's a joy that feels illegal. Like it really does. And when you get to succeed, you're just like, I hope no one stops me. My God, this is so great. It feels
Yes.
like you have to watch your six because you're having such a great time.
And once you get so deep into the career, and it's like, oh
Oh
shit,
yeah.
I've done so
I
much these last few months.
I have my closet is divided of Nox Falls costumes and regular, and then on the other side is regular stuff. And it's like a long closet, and that's half my life. My closet is a representation of my life, and Knox Falls takes up just as much space as I do. We live together, we are one. So it's my life. It is a part of my life that will not go anywhere, and I'm okay with that. I'm actually quite happy with it.
I can respect that. I can respect that. Keep doing it, Knox. You're doing great. Don't
Thank
change it. Don't change your style.
thank you.
So, last two questions. What advice would you give to Black performers who want to enter burlesque but feel intimidated?
Just do I mean, do it first off. Intimidation is gonna you're gonna feel that way with anything new. Anything new is gonna feel that way. Latch like I was gonna say latch on to somebody, but don't do that. Um, find someone that you respect or that you've been admiring, because if you want to get into burlesque, try to search black burlesque performers in your area. See who pops up. Reach out. Honestly, reach out if you need an anchor or a lifeline and you do not feel comfortable with entering yourself or making your own costumes, because you got to get in somewhere. Message the person of, hey, I want to do burlesque. Can you teach me, or do you know where I can be taught? 9 times out of 10, they'll either go, well, yes, I can, or I can tell you where I learned. So reaching out is going to be like the first step, to do it. But feel intimidated, I feel you're going to be, it's natural to feel intimidated by something that you'll be wondered of, but if you want it, reach out. Reach out to a person, and the right one will help you. If that person doesn't answer, reach out to another one.
Okay. Yes, you want to make sure, or well, like, and it's nice to have those advice. Make sure ask questions. If you
Hmm.
feel very unsure about something, don't hesitate to ask.
Yeah, naturally, like closed mouths do not get fed. I am an asker of questions. And sometimes it can come off as like challenging because it goes along with my pattern recognition. So if I ask clarifying questions and I need that transparency, it's always comes across of like challenging. So for me, there's no too many questions. I will answer as many questions as asked of me, because I believe in transparency and getting you like all the information that you'll need to do a thing. And I feel like reaching out to multiple people or trying to figure out is the way. Information sometimes is free.
Of course, always don't hesitate to ask. There's no
Hmm.
limit to questions.
No, get out there, message them twice. What are you gonna do?
Hmm.
Go to shows too. If you're able to
Yeah,
go to shows, oh my God, go to shows and talk to the people after. And you're like, hello. I too, most of the time though, like, for those who are watching, most of the time you'll speak with somebody, and if they don't have classes or whatever, they'll invite you to like kitten at their shows. And you'll start that, and the kitten's the person that picks up the clothes after you're done throwing them on the ground passionately. They go like, oh yes, gotta kick these up. So they'll do that. Like there are ways. There are ways. I never went to a burlesque school of any of the sort, and I got here. So it's one of those arts. You like, who's going to teach you about your talent?
right. All right, last question, then we'll wrap this up. When people speak about Knox Falls, you years from now, what do you hope they say about your impact on them?
You know, I don't know yet. I think that's part of my artistic journey. I could tell you how I would want them to feel rather than say. I want them to feel inspired by me. I want to leave wonderment behind. And usually I'm so good with words, but I don't necessarily know what I want them to say because I'm in the process of becoming it. That I do feel. But what I hope to currently um, inspire are just the quality of work, mesmerizing, great costumes. I want to be known as an artist. That's a good artist overall, and I think that's really what I want to leave behind. But again, it's always evolving. Like I can't really tell you what I want people to think because I have to figure that out of what I kind of want to leave behind, and I'm still in the process of that.
Yeah, it's I always ask, and guess what? We don't even know the answers. I don't even have all the answers yet, but
I think
it's something that that has to come naturally, and we just want people to make sure that they've done this amazing work for us. It's something that's going to be remembered. That
yeah,
we sat here and we done this thing. We
yeah.
made this masterpiece. It's done, and
Like
people
I
will
definitely
actually
want it to
enjoy
be
it.
positive, I just don't know how and what levels of the positive. Like I don't know. They could say I could want one person like to remember me as an absolute sex god. I want another person to remember me as very, very scary. And to some people, I am both, and I think that's really cool. I don't want to be one thing to everyone. I want to be many things to a lot.
Oh yeah, of course. As long as we're doing that, they'll be able to gain something out of it.
Yeah,
So, all right. Well, I guess that wraps it up. Did you enjoy our conversation today?
I did. I did. We have been yapping for 2 hours exactly.
I try to squeeze
That's
out
amazing.
I try to squeeze out every piece of information out of you guys as possible.
Oh, it's really, really great questions and in depth. Like a lot of them I had to think about, and a lot of them I still don't, again, as you see, don't know the answers to. Like I never mind like surprise questions, but they're really in-depth questions that make me think that have opened up like a new thought to like, what am I? You know? It goes along with the artist, it's the artist mission and the artist statement. And like those type of questions always good to re-experience because we don't get questioned a lot. Burlesque answers, we get questioned of like,
Mm,
oh, this was so great, or what perfume did you use, or how did you come up with this costume? But like further in-depth questions of artistic expression, what we leave behind, what we bring to the stage, we don't get asked often enough.
mm. Yeah, well, good thing I'm one of the ones who wants to dive deep into those kind of
I
topics.
I appreciate your inquisitiveness
Well,
anytime.
I, I want to keep doing that with the others going forward.
Yes. Yes, I think you should get have a whole series of Nerdleskers, and you're like, how do you even do this?
That is my goal. I'm going to see. I'm going to try that for the next few ones. But yes,
Yeah,
I like asking those tough questions, and it really helps the people understand what's there's more to this than what they're doing on stage.
yes, yeah, did that.